Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and I bought a new joystick. I've just got myself the Winwing Orion 2 base with the F16 grip. Now, when I'm saying I just got it myself, it's actually been a little while ago because I really wanted to get used to how to handle the side stick and to get the best out of it before I actually start making this video. So let's go right into it. I'm using the stick for about a month now and I've had very positive results with it. Now, in this video I want to show you first of all the reasoning why I got a new stick, then what my new side stick can do and why I am so happy with it. Now, I am not going to put up a camera beneath my stick to show you how I'm moving a joystick, you all know what that looks like, but rather I'm going to show you right within the simulator how that thing handles. But first of all, let's start with why I wanted to get a new stick. Now, the primary reason for that was actually that I wanted to replace my previous Thrustmaster stick. So I've been using the Thrustmaster Warthog for a little while now, and that Warthog, as fine as it was, had a big problem for me. And that was the force needed to move it very close to the neutral point. So you can see right now, I'm more or less perfectly maintaining my flight parameters over here with just a very shallow climb there of maybe 20 feet a minute or something the likes. Now, the important thing for me was that I need to be able to do very small inputs, like look at that, look at what I can do here, adjusting my bank just a couple degrees or maybe pitching down just a very slight bit in order to get my vertical speed perfectly under control over here. And that is the kind of inputs that I want to be able to make. And that is, by the way, also what you are able to do on the real Airbus, okay? So you really do inputs just like this. Have a look at that. You maybe see the stick moving a very tiny bit here. And that is how you normally fly the Airbus. That is all the inputs you need, and the plane is going to do exactly what you want it to do. And these kind of inputs I could not do on my previous Thrustmaster stick, because first of all it was very stiff close to the zero neutral position, and then because the force required to get it out of it was just too much, so whenever I took it out of the neutral position it always came with a certain amount of deflection that led to over controlling the plane when I wanted to do just a very small input. Now, in case you're wondering, the real Airbus does not have a felt neutral position. For sure, you can just let go of the stick, it goes to neutral, and you will sort of get where the neutral position is. But if you're actually trying to move the stick, then you can do so without much input needed there, and you can move it, you know, just the very slightest of deflections out of the neutral position without any noticeable force required to do that. And that was different on my Thrustmaster Warthog. For that reason, I went over to the Winwing stick. Now let's have a look into what exactly I bought here. And I'm going to show you directly from the website from Winwing, just for the reason that I do prefer this to be, well, I do prefer to give you the original images from the manufacturer here. Rest assured, it looks just like what they show over here. So that is the stick that I purchased, and it features a lot of interesting features there. Like, it comes with a couple of enhancements, like some additional screws that you can use to change the force needed to move the stick, but I actually just left it on the default that it came with, because you don't need a lot of force, at least close to the zero position on an Airbus. Now, I might be playing with this a little bit more in the future, but what I really appreciated here was the fact that it comes with all these options, so we don't need to worry about those, and you can easily exchange these things. So this is a nice graphic over here from the manufacturer showing you which kind of springs it comes with and what kind of force is needed then in order to move the stick. So that's something that I'm still about to play with, but the default one that is installed is actually quite good already. So that is quite alright for me. Now, the other thing that was important for me was the grip of the stick. So I was so used to my Warthog stick, and the Winwing stick had a bundle of the Orion 2 base and the F16 stick. And the F16 and the Warthog basically have the same stick. So I could stay used to whatever I've been using previously, all the button combinations and everything, without having to change anything over. So that was quite cool. Also, they have some interesting offers up at the moment, where you can get the bundle of the stick and the base for about 200 euros, which is quite a good value for money in the modern days joystick market. Alright, there's several different options there that you can go for. For example, it has a force detector, and if you want to go the, let's call it, if you want to go the fighter stick way, then if you've ever used an F16 stick or something the likes, or maybe a good rendition of one, then you will be aware that in the F16 they just, the stick basically doesn't move, they just measure the force that you exercise on it. And this one can do it as well, so that is quite cool. So you can interchange it between moving the stick, or between having the stick rigidly in place, measuring the force that you exercise, and both of that can be done, so that's quite nice. Now, personally, I got the bundle that you can see over here. It says 220 over there, but do have a look at that. There will be a further discount applied, so you can get it for something like around 200 euros, including the shipping costs. Also, I don't have that right now, but they do have an Airbus grip available as well, but I am hoping that it is going to be reduced in price a little bit before I'm actually going to purchase this. But that does look quite interesting to me as well, because obviously I am sooner or later looking for an Airbus grip as well. So that is the stick that I purchased. So let's have a very quick look into how I set it up right within my simulator. So let's go onto the control options over here. And if we move all the way over now, then we can see that I basically assigned my axis, my trimming surfaces, and then a couple of camera controls over here that I found quite good, so that I can look around my cockpit, because obviously this is a stick to be used on the right hand side, and that is where normally my mouse would lie. So moving around the camera and using a stick at the same time, I figured that I needed to get myself a proper setup for that. So over here you can see how I did my setup, and how I can move around my drone camera, how I can move about my cockpit camera, and the controls that are assigned right on here. So that's pretty much all that I have right now, and the sensitivity settings are over here, all at 0. That is how I get the best results. Now, talking about getting the best results, let's have a look straight in the simulator as to what I can do with this stick. So we can look at the primary flight display, of course, but let's just look outside for a second, because you can see movement better when you look outside the window than if you look at the control column. So now I'm doing just a very tiny right input, and you can see how precisely I can control my plane. Now let's go left again, and let's pitch up and down a little bit. You can see how precisely I can control this, and this is all with just a minimal input, maybe moving the stick about half a centimeter or such in reality, and that is the results that I'm getting from this. So you can see very, very precise control of the airplane is possible with that. If we have a look at the primary flight display, which we can quickly do down here, then I'm going to show you how precisely you can actually control the airplane. So let's just about move into a position where we get like the best possible results. Here we go. That might be just about big enough so that you guys can actually see something. So let's go ahead and start moving a little bit. I just want to break that rate of descent and go to vertical speed 0. So a very slight pullback. Look at how precisely I can control the pitch over there. And then obviously vertical speed indicator always swings a little bit off. That is totally normal. So you can see how I can change this around, literally adjusting in steps of about 100 to 50 feet a minute. So that is exactly what you can do on the real Airbus, and really, really nice. The same goes for the bank angle. Let's say I want to go 10 degrees of bank, then I'm just applying very minimal input, maybe a centimeter of stick deflection here, in order to get a result like what we are seeing on the screen right now. And as you can see, can perfectly maintain the pitch, maintain the bank and everything using this stick. Going into the other direction, let's do that for a second as well now. Let's make it 30 degrees of bank. Here we go. So that's 30 degrees of bank now. And as you can see, I can maintain my altitude perfectly with that, while also controlling the bank angle perfectly. So that is something that in the Thrustmaster stick I could never do because of that huge force around the center position that I needed. Alright then, let's also fly a couple of vertical speeds here. Let's do 1,000 feet a minute rate of climb. Here we go, that's 1,000. Let's do 1,000 rate of descent right now. A little bit more maybe, but you can see how precisely I can control it. In case you're wondering, by the way, which technique I'm using to set my vertical speed, I'm basically just looking at the pitch and adjusting the pitch, and then see what resultant vertical speed I'm getting on the VSI. And like that, you can really control your plane precisely. And all I can say is that I am totally happy with the amount of inputs that I can do on my WinWing stick. Now don't get me wrong here, I can go full stick deflection of course, getting like a little tighter results here as you can see. Oh, good job Airbus. It shouldn't let me do that. Okay, well, that looked interesting. That was just continuous full forward stick here. Well, no further comment on that. Anyway, you can see what I mean when I say that I can precisely control the airplane like that. And I do have to say that I am, for now, totally happy with the new stick. So, a last word over here. I have not been paid to do this video, okay, so I have been talking very, very positively about the WinWing stick. But just to be completely sure, they did not sponsor this video or anything. I bought the stick just like everyone else. So this is the true and honest opinion that you see in this video. Alright then, that's going to be it. I do hope you found this one interesting. Now, I do realize this was not the kind of standard I bought a new hardware video where people usually show videos of themselves handling the new hardware. You guys know what it looks like to move a joystick. The part that I found a lot more important is like what can you actually do with the stick, what kind of results can you achieve right within the simulator. I do hope you found this one interesting. If you did, then do let me know in the comments below. I'm very much looking forward to that. And if you're interested in more, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, everyone. And if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. In the meantime, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.